The day I buried Elijah, the sky over Evergreen Cemetery was the color of tarnished pewter. A low wind rattled the bare maple branches, and the scent of wet earth clung to my black wool coat like a second skin. I stood at the edge of the grave, clutching a single white rose, while the pastor's voice droned about ashes and dust. My son Marcus wept quietly beside me, his shoulders shaking under the weight of a grief I understood but could not share. Not yet, because while everyone else mourned I saw it. Vanessa, my daughter-in-law, elegant in her tailored mourning dress, leaned over the casket. Her gloved fingers brushed Elijah's lapel with the tenderness of a wife. But I knew better. I saw the tremor in her wrist, the way her eyes flicked to me for half a second before sliding away. She slipped something small and rectangular into the inner pocket of his navy suit. Flash of white. Secret. No one else noticed. I did. The moment passed like a heartbeat. The casket lowered. The earth swallowed him. And I stood there, frozen, as the first seed of dread took root in my chest. That night the house was too quiet. The grandfather clock in the hallway ticked like a metronome, counting down to something I couldn't name. I sat at the dining table, the envelope Vanessa had planted resting in front of me like a loaded gun. My name, Celeste, was written in Elijah's hand. The paper smelled faintly of hospital antiseptic and the lavender sachets he kept in his drawers. Inside, a single sheet and a small cold key. Celeste, if you're reading this, I failed to tell you in time. What you thought was yours was never safe. Trust no one. The closest love can cut the deepest. And etched on the key, 47. I didn't sleep. At 3:17 a.m. I remembered. 3 weeks before he died, Elijah had gripped my hand in his hospital bed. His voice a rasp. If anything happens, don't look at home. Look where the numbers matter. I thought it was the morphine. Now I knew better. The envelope contained a will, dated 1 month before Elijah's death. I, Elijah James Thacker, being of sound mind, revoke all prior wills and leave the entirety of my estate to Serena Harper and her heirs. Serena Harper. The name wasn't in any family album. The folder held something worse. A lab report. Toxicology screen E. Thacker. Substance detected. Thallium sulfate. Chronic exposure. Estimated ingestion. 4 to 6 weeks. My knees buckled. Thallium. Rat poison. Low. Silent. Elijah hadn't died of a heart attack. He'd been murdered. I needed proof. And I needed to see Vanessa's face when she realized I knew. 2 nights later, the city's elite gathered at the Hawthorne Gala. Black tie, crystal chandeliers, champagne that cost more than most people's rent. Vanessa was there, radiant in emerald silk, Marcus on her arm like a trophy. I wore mourning black. I moved through the crowd like a ghost, smiled at the right people, accepted condolences, and watched. Vanessa laughed too loudly. Her eyes scanned the room constantly. When she saw me, her smile faltered. Just for a second. I excused myself and slipped into the ladies' lounge. Moments later she followed. "Celeste," she said, voice honeyed. "You shouldn't be alone." "I'm not." I turned, holding up the lab report. "I have company." Her face went white. "You put this in his casket," I said quietly. "A taunt. Trophy. But you didn't expect me to find it." She recovered fast. "I don't know what you're talking about." "Then let's ask Serena." Her pupils dilated. "She's dead." "Is she?" I left her standing in front of the mirror, lipstick bleeding at the edges. I started attending events Vanessa frequented. Grief, I said, was easier in company. But I was hunting. At a charity auction, I saw her speaking to a woman in a red dress. Tall, silver-haired, posture like a queen. The woman's profile was familiar. I followed them into the garden. "Can't rush it," the woman was saying. "Celeste is fragile. Let her grieve." Vanessa's voice was ice. "She's asking questions. About the will. About you. Oz. Then, handle it. Or I will." I stepped back into the shadows as they passed. The woman in red smelled of gardenias and something metallic. I knew that scent. It was in the photograph. Serena Harper was alive. Harold Linton lived in a crumbling Victorian on the edge of town. The kind of place where the wallpaper peeled like old skin. He opened the door wearing a black ring that caught the porch light like an oil slick. "You're late," he said. "Elijah said to find you. If anything happened." Harold's laugh was dry. He was always dramatic. "Come in." The parlor smelled of cigars and regret. "Serena didn't die," he said without preamble. "She faked it. Cancer story was a lie. She wanted Elijah to suffer. Slowly. And Vanessa, her weapon, raised on stories of the man who abandoned them. Serena fed her thallium in his tea. Vanessa thought it was justice. I showed him the lab report. He nodded. I warned him. Years ago. Said Serena would come back. But love makes fools of us all. Love. Harold's eyes softened. He never stopped sending money. Even after she disappeared. Thought he was helping the girl. Didn't know he was funding his own murder. The trial was a circus. Vanessa took a plea. 20 years for manslaughter, fraud, forgery. Serena got house arrest. Cancer this time real. Marcus moved to Seattle. He calls on Sundays. We don't talk about her. I sold the house. Bought a cottage by the sea. Some nights I walk the beach and throw stones into the waves. I think of Elijah's last words in the journal I found later. If I die by her hand, don't hate her. Hate made her. Love might save her. But save yourself first. Kept the key. Box 47 is empty now, but I wear it on a chain. Reminder. Not of betrayal. Of survival. Epilogue. The detective agency. 6 months later, I opened Celeste's Truth. A small office above a bakery. I help women like me. The ones who find envelopes in caskets. The ones who smell poison in their tea. My first client was a widow named Margaret. Her husband died of heart failure. She brought me a key. Number 29. Smiled. Let's open it together. The tide rolls in. Tide rolls out. And I keep walking. Then. The next morning I took the city bus to First National Bank. The security guard, Tommy, recognized me immediately. Mrs. Thacker. I'm so sorry. He nodded. I need access to a safety deposit box. Box 47 was in Elijah's name only. The clerk hesitated when she saw the key. Old brass worn smooth at the edges. You'll need to sign. I did. My hand didn't shake. The vault smelled of metal and old paper. The box slid out with a soft clunk. Inside, a manila folder, a sealed envelope, a black and white photograph. I opened the photo first. Elijah younger. His arm around a woman with sharp cheekbones and sad eyes. Between them a little girl, no more than 3, clutched a stuffed rabbit. The woman's face was unfamiliar. But the child's eyes. I knew those eyes.